cannot see it. There's of the fall. So I had to talk a little bit about how I see it from my own, because I do not belong to any side. Um, I can understand that people will do whatever to support their own pocket. So this is the problem. This is the problem where we need to look at the problem to see the solution. You will get paid the same money, you will enjoy as much as when you are working for what benefits for the whole. And when you are looking at your party, when you're looking at your political party, how much money, time, and space, because the space is the reality of what you are touching in that frame of space. Time seems to be unlimited, but it is the space that marks that timing in that space, that which has moved. Otherwise, they're just sparks and particles, ideas. And this Monday, that starts with moving out from a fort, the fort, and going inside. I think it was teamwork, right? So, the teamwork. What is inside each teamwork? Because looking at the political field, how everyone is acting with their masks and their parades and what they conform to their own so they remain in their place and they're hurt for what they belong and represent. And people are learning from that and they will copy. Okay, people don't learn, they simply copy. Like when we're children, we copy. Yeah, I'm a creator and an explorer. So it's kind of like I don't have time for dating. If I want to feel good, I feel good, and you just see it in one, two, three. You don't need to, unless you are trying to copy what the other is saying. So you copy this, copy that, look into your benefits. What is it worth for you if you do this? That's all story being repeated. It is easier to do what you know. So I wanted to say very clear that if you're making a speech for a peace deal, you're not going to win Ukraine in NATO, but you will win Russia. So think, all right? You want to be smart us? Let it roll. I can make that story, but you have to make it your own. When you make it your own, it is stronger because you made it. And each word that you made in it, it comes from every core of your existence and what brought you to be existing in this very present. This is why in role play, people make their own stories and their own fantasies, and there is a gravity to realism in it. It is more consistent and real when it is yours. It is good to have a team, a teamwork, an insider teamwork, and then you have that atmosphere that we are trying to approach. That is an effort or effortless to some extent when you already know it. Yes, of course, it takes a lot to be where you are and blah, 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 blah. So you are there thanks to all those who support you and you will do as they wish so, but they do not have a story of their own either. So I've been just three or 2 days in bed between thinking and flying and just doing nothing. And some sense comes there in the unknown when I think about it from another without drugs, just to feel high naturally. How long will it take for Russia to be part? So you will have to think before if it's gonna be 3 years of mediation or fighting in United Nations. It's gonna be 10 years doing mediations with the OPEC, and how you changing and controlling. Everyone is controlling. Everyone is becoming aware in the screen that these numbers are real, moving into green energy. So this is a war of mediators, and each mediator has to know their own script because it's working on day and night, hammering it in its own brain and pathway to break through these old patterns of obsolete, slow. Yeah, and it takes a lot when you come into the numbers of the equation, because the bank system have to be very clear. Even though I know that all those who have a lot of potential and money manage their money in other realms for themselves, so they hide their own ways for themselves, and they have their own ways. And even the middle class who want to be there as well, they want to be millionaires, they want to be billionaires. So all this rat race going in the like the hamsters, right? I used to have hamsters in New York City. In Chelsea, I was next to the street, my window, and I had a labyrinth for the hamster. It was like a space with silver and blue, and people could see all the channels of the hamsters, and everyone laughs and says, "Yeah." And I would be doing my script writings besides so much that goes in New York, and I would be there like, "Yeah," because we all belong to this uh, rat race in a way in New York City, and sometimes we forget to just take it easy. Take it easy, slow down, enjoy life, because that's how things work better sometimes in another time frame. So is to move a little bit higher in a, I mean higher like being high, naturally high, and talk from there. Just take time to see that, and you will see the time that's going to take for these numbers, for these connections to happen, for this analysis that you are forming. But Russia needs to be on board. Russia is more, it has more similarities with Europe and United States than the Muslim world, for example. The Chinese can be respectful. Everyone has delusional ideas of taking over the world. I mean, especially me with my villain characters. And it's where I have more fun, because it busts up your energy when you get in that character of empowerment, right? It gives you a lot of like testosterone, I guess. The psychotic extreme of, and it's been proven by studies in university, that burst of energy that gives steroids, testosterone, can cause psychosis. So I know that for the character that I play, or when I put myself in psycho mode to, for example, make everyone crazy on the stream of YouTube, so they attack Amber Heard or Meghan Markle. But for that, you need to have a very open mind to listen to the what is the pattern in what people say. You cannot tell people what to do in the stream. You follow that pattern, and you write with that pattern, and you honor what the person said. But it depends because it's never the same to be a liner on everyone's stream like a psycho in psycho mode. I mean, really psycho mode, if not to say psychopath mode, but it has a path to it. And it's very beneficial if you use it for a good cause. What happens is that privacy has to be accepted. Yeah, privacy has to be respected. So you fuck with royalty, you're fucked. You fuck with somebody famous, give you power, you're fucked. That is your private life. Don't try to ruin anyone to put yourself up because that's their private life. So to distinguish that, because also in the virtual world of characters, there are other laws that affect uh, fictional characters for the story. And I'm still leading, trying to lead. So somebody comes to me. So I give the rules of role playing to virtual reality. And well, I guess no one is there. So I think this is a little bit of a war against metaverse and cybernetic laws, and everyone has to understand whom they are, what is what they're doing with their team, as they're defined to be as such for the people, in order to move on together. Because if everyone is copying everyone, then there is simply a mess. There is no common sense. People will keep dividing, people will keep copying, and people will keep in that frame of just acting without creation. And you don't want a world that has not matured. So I have the majority of role players stuck. These rules of roleplay are very serious and it can only benefit the first person who comes to me, like like a real person. Okay, so many times I am in a good mood to joke and take it like it's funny, but this is just very simple. And to be in a court, that mediation, going back to politics, that mediation that is from United Nations, from the OPEC and green energy, because that's is a war against oil at the same time that all those in power and politics, they want to make money, but they want to make money the old way, because the old way of thinking is oil, making nuclear energy. Yeah, there is a new nuclear energy they form in Germany, which doesn't create but but that is yet to analyze and see if it's and double check if it's so good or not. So the metaverse has the major parts of power, but not all. So the metaverse is a formula that I have created, and you're still there pending. You think you're playing with me as if I am your pawn, and then you have the board because I have done this. So the board of the government on each country can protect its people for the dangers that virtual reality can bring, but at the same time, the privacy of people. There are certain things that cannot be known because, I mean, there is so much perversion that right now even those who are in power, many are pedophiles. So it's going to take a lot of teamwork to understand that I don't care about women. I don't care about countries who have to fight for their own rights. They are responsible for their own acts of consciousness. I care about children who are innocent. I care about innocent people in war. They're innocent. I care about the environment because nobody can talk for the trees and the animals. Yes, a woman can talk for herself and go out and sleep under a tree. I've done that. I have been homeless many times. Just walk off, right? Walk off. Many times I get everything stolen because I could never get to a stage where I can protect myself, no matter how many court cases I have or how rightful I can be, right? It's easier in a world made for men. And this is a shared understanding all around the world. So there are a lot of conditions here that are affecting, because we need everyone to get on board. And if you do not get on board with the formula, this is not yours. It is not yours. So only the moment when you take your mask out of being nice and perfect, because you're not. Yes, you are superior because you have that responsibility to channel all this creation. Why not too many? Because then it's chaotic. All the world is around 180 countries already. So people don't see their percentage. They say, oh, but it's just 5.0%. Yeah, but that's for all your country. So there are millions in that 0.5 percentage. And those who are professionals with numbers can explain it better, can, can break down the royalties and percentage. And virtual reality is not for every tech giant. Mm, It is just for three, four. We can move. Everything that is being done in YouTube is a great resource of information. Virtual reality works with what is already on internet. So Wikipedia has to be honored as well. And Wikipedia also needs, uh, people need to know that they have the right to put accurate information in Wikipedia as well. So you have, when people want to be short minded and just chat with the people and get all this information, or a police is sending this information, a police station, is everything is short in Twitter and it's fast. So there is a lot of speed there. The frontal cortex, the frontal part of the brain is short thinking. Yeah, it's directional and it's acting with the outside world. So it's very pragmatic and it's very reasonable to just move accordingly to the current situation and moving. When you're operating with deeper stories, you sometimes take hours and days. I cannot do that anymore because it's a luxury. One thing is to be a hacker hacked by role players that can understand the same mind, because we are even our enemies. We form a team. So then having people that just have nothing to do with role play, so it cuts you off. It cuts your muse, your inspiration, because they're using it. They're taking to use it for their own benefit, and they are destroying our work because they don't even know what it's about. If you can fairly and ask, you can have a lot of fun. Also making the documentary and getting to expose and try to teach people how it started and how it's moving, and get all these conversations at the same time. Yeah, people need to learn how to mediate and role play in the human interaction. People need to stop being afraid of getting fired. Those those who are predators, those who are, because the bullies are the ones who get to be managers. The bullies are the ones to get ahead. This is a way of thinking where people have learned to silence for 4,000 years. So this is not just like that, because Jesus went there and spoke his freedom. In order to speak his freedom and continue, he had to surpass the bishop. And he made a very clever move. And he said to the bishop, because the bishop was the higher authority. So he said, I am the Son of God. So the bishop was put here already. Like, you're not telling me what to say or what to do. But that was in order to protect his freedom of speech. Like, you can't corrupt me. You can't step over my freedom. And I don't think he was against capitalism or the marketplace when the meaning of these last 2,000 years, some have started to push forward to creation, yeah, for humans to create. Because of course, creation, innovations, artists, not just wars, also as much as an empire has with its military and defense, as much as has with its innovation and the artists. There is no empire that has just one, both in the maximum power. That is something the rest of the world has to honor, to the free world. So this has to be clear in the percentage of white is a bigger percentage. Yeah, we have many people who have died just to create. They're giving their life to create. They're giving their life to to move into the unknown, into other countries, into other cultures. So you can now take care of each other and have hospitals, have schools, have roads. Whatever mistakes were done. So, how are you going to make a speech to convince the world that NATO cannot win? Because we're all moving at the same time towards the same direction, hmm, of understanding each other. So it is very good to bring our ancestors, what they fought for, and have very clear what freedom is. It takes a lot of responsibility to be free. It takes a big deal to be free and not follow the anyone but your true belief that is being formed by your freedom of and freedom of choice is not really something that people think it is as such because we are involved. It's not such a thing as free will. There are things that you do willingly, and there are things you do unwillingly because you feel you're forced, so you think you're forced, that you have to. So it is not very in touch with the reality. It's more like you do it for survival. So there is a frequency, they call it in survival modes. So when you are in a straight energy with the universe and you're standing in your feet and walking in your 2 feet, that which separates you from the animal kingdom, because not every human is on survival mode. Survival mode. I don't need to explain that, right? I mean, if you're a predator or you're taking care so nobody eats you, right? That's survival mode. Doing things for money, doing things for convenience, doing things for votes, doing things for campaigning, sell marketing, ruin others so you are above, all right? Okay, let's say just a few human beings on this earth, or just me. Yeah. So, well, eventually I will be able to go to the hair salon and get a little more inspired to go out. There's nothing more beautiful than seeing your children grow and not having to talk the same thing over and over again because people are waiting for others to step forward so this conversation can really take a stage, right? So whomever is first is the person who deserves its first place, all right? Doesn't matter if I have role play with you for 20 years, 15 years, or I send you a package, or to the other I have asked for help, or if you have mediated. First is first. This is the person who will be able to translate it. It's very simple. I can understand that it is easier to do it with someone that is ambiguous and is to the side of no one, but understand that what you have taken is not yours. I made that formula. So everyone should come along to take their seats for these conversations. And I mean the ones who are hacking me right now. All right? You know whom you are, and you know what it serves for. It serves for what you represent, your people, and the roles of virtual reality into can go faster. The role play that is done in virtual reality and the format in the program that I have for you of how it works, how I, I mean, cannot bring any word that's similar because I have already put my settings to not put any word that's even 4 kilometers away from a process of stories that could get near. So well, I used to be a workaholic and now I'm just trying to get through these thresholds. So teamwork. What is it that you want in your team? You want them to believe in you. You want them to do as you say. You would want them to think as one, so you can listen also as one, and at the same time, you don't know what you're doing or what you're gonna say. So you need to listen to a stranger. Well, I guess this is a teamwork that is related to more than your own teamwork. Mm? So this conversation is going to be allergic to many who have problems of abuse. You have to understand that abuse is what people overreact or get allergic unconsciously. They don't do this because they want to. It's the way they are. This is coming up out. So they think they're going to be oppressed, abused. They're going to be dominated, and they need to attack. They need to insult. They need to put dirty names on the globalization, on the world order. They need to create whatever it is to protect themselves and keep carrying this story that inside their own abuse, because this is a story of abuse. First of all, they got in power because they have stolen the work of others. Yeah, when you take over power, like the Russians did, the Venezuelans did, they still have some strings of the story there to honor within their own characters, because they still have, each country has all these characters that composes their own psychology, whatever they are acting in behalf or against. Yeah. So as to say, every German will have a little Hitler because it's part of their history. Whatever was bad or good is part of the whole story. Yeah, like the Russians will have all these great writers and thinkers, and Lenin too, and they will have all that which you know is good and bad. And at the same time, our politics carry some tendencies from that were writing from the Russians as well. So it's good to bring into perspective an angle that is opening up for this conversation, right? And this conversation, let's say, is here and from the other side as well. Yeah. And people need to listen to these words little by little as it gets to open up that angle, that field that is created for everyone to watch. Uh, Intellectual war that is, as for example, the best that have been seen with Jordan Peterson. Intellectuals, right? So moving, not that they're working for any political party, but they're working from their own independent ideas, from their own independent authorship. My father was sometimes I some little things that remind me of my father from Jordan Peterson, because my father would never do as others say, and he had this problem to have sponsors or people that could support him, because he was always afraid that they will change his work. But there are also problems of abuse. So there is abuse. He was privileged because a priest in Spain will give him private classes. So that's how he became a writer. But the priest abused him as a child. And he said that he was only touched. I need to bring this because the there is an example of being aware, and at least one generation is able to talk about it with, for example, with me, and he would say, no, but that's it, right? But still, that uh, misunderstanding from the child, and it's too much voltage of energy from an adult. This is why adults should be with adults. It's too much voltage of energy, and the child has not developed yet to get all this relation going, even if there is electricity going through the child, which I don't think it's just the left who is into pornography and pedophilia as a love affair, but it's a story of abuse. Yeah, it is a true story. You call it twisted, but when any girl or boy that has its sexuality taking over, it will have rebellion towards its own sexuality. So it feels bad being a girl or a boy. It feels bad with its own sexuality. And the way many develop are different, but the same emotion of abuse is correlated there. So you're treating with the 80% of population that are abused and psychologically are not ready to mediate like lovers do, who are adults. And having that clear in your mind, you will be able to dissect and create better stories for others to join and become children again. Yeah. So that is the beauty of being a mother or a father, because you get to see your kids growing and you get that spice of life. They have the reason of life, children, and we tend to forget that in a way. So we hide, but it's not all there in our homes. Um, there is much playground out there to do team up. Okay, so this is Monday on the 7th of November of 2022. Hope you have a lovely day and get to love one another while doing business. Respect people's work and their values so we can move stronger. In the future, we don't need to have nationality. Yeah, in the future of outer space, ultra space, we do not need to have nationalities fighting against any of all this. What's going on right now? Like, whatever it is, whatever reason. So, the best people on this world have achieved that, and I have lived many years and many times on that way, so I know it does exist. Um, well, bring it on. Bye.